What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Texas Rangers report. And today's video, we are going over the 5 biggest success stories at the major league level for the Texas Rangers in the 2021 season. And I know I haven't been posting a bunch of larger form content videos on the channel, but I've been posting a bunch of shorts, and those have been getting a lot of views. But I think you guys like these type of videos, so I'm going to try to be incorporating both of these types of videos into the channel. But getting back to the success stories for the Rangers, even though we're a team, we're like 40 or 50 games under 500. I haven't really looked at the standings too much lately because it's been a little depressing. Not really, but still, we're way down there. There still has been some bright spots for the Rangers. They definitely have some pieces that we can build off of. It's definitely encouraging as we go into a free agency class that's loaded. Trevor Story, Corey Seager, Javi Baez. Not too big on Javi, and then you go to the pitchers. Kershaw, Stroman, Syndergaard, Max Scherzer, just to name a few. But let's actually go into the players. And first off, we have to go with Adolis Garcia. And this is just a really good story. I've said it time and time again on the channel. We traded for him back in 2019 from the Cardinals, just for cash considerations. Nobody really expected much from Adolis. But the good thing about Adolis is he's always been an athlete, always had power, always could run, strong arm. And then he played a little bit in the majors in 2020 with the Rangers, or maybe they traded for him in 2020. But he played a little bit in 2020, but maybe it was like a week, and then he got sent down. And then they designated him for assignment this offseason. So any team could have claimed him on waivers. Nobody did. The Rangers gave him a non-roster invite to spring training, and he performed well in spring training. But he didn't make the big league club, and they sent him down to Round Rock. And he spent like a month in Round Rock, and then he got the call to the big leagues and hasn't even looked back. And he's put up really good numbers with the Rangers, so I wonder what numbers he could have if he were had that extra month. We all know he has the rookie home run record for the Rangers. He also was an all-star. He can get done on defense, on offense, with and on the base pass as well. And he's a really good guy to be built off of, because he's a little bit older, but he is controllable because this is his first year in the majors, and he's making a run for Rookie of the Year. Next guy on this list is Nate Lowe, another rookie for the Rangers. He did get time last year with the Tampa Bay Rays, but we traded for him this offseason. I made a video on him whenever they traded for him. But at the time, I was wasn't really sure about the trade, but I've been excited. I've been happy with Nate Lowe. I mean, he's not like a Pete Alonso or a Vladimir Guerrero, but he puts in quality at bats. I think his biggest knock was his defense whenever the trade occurred, but he hasn't been a liability on defense. I mean, he's not a Ronald Guzman, but he's not bad at defense. But I think his most impressive thing is obviously his bat. That's his calling card. He hasn't been spectacular. He doesn't have an OPS over 800, but I think he's a guy you can build off of. His OPS has been around there at some points this year. But on a struggling club, if the team gets cold, certain players get cold, and I think that's the case for Nate Lowe. But he's been starting to pick it up, and I like how he can go to the opposite field, and he does have power in the bat, so I'm surprised he hasn't hit as many home runs. But I think it's a really good option for the Rangers to have at first base moving forward with this franchise. Number 3 on this list is Taylor Hearn. And he's been in this organization for a little bit longer than most of the guys on this list. He was traded back in 2017, I believe, in the Keone Kela trade. So he's been in the organization for a while. Like, my light just went off. So he's not even a rookie, and he's had his ups and his downs, especially this year. He came up as a starter. He got injured in his start, pitched like a third of an inning, left 6 runs, and then he got moved to the bullpen he actually pitched really well last year as the bullpen guy. And then as injuries occurred with the Rangers, they traded players away. They got pressed to put him back as a starter. And things have worked out really well with Taylor Hearn. He may arguably be one of the best Rangers starters currently on the roster. He has had trouble throwing strikes at times. I think he's doing a little bit better job right now. But honestly, he's been pitching well, and I think a lot of teams would want Taylor Hearn on the roster, and especially with how controllable he is, how cheap he is, and I think he has a great mindset as a ball player in general. Texas Rangers Fanatics YouTube channel did an interview with him early in the off season, and he said he wants to be a Hall of Famer, and that just shows his mindset that he wants to be the best on the team, one of the best in the leagues, and I'm glad that he's starting to prove what he can do with the Texas Rangers. Number 4 on this list is Joe Barlow. I think we all know who Joe Barlow is at this point. The Rangers have left him unprotected from many Rule 5 drafts, and he finally got his time to shine with the Texas Rangers this year. And then obviously he wasn't the closer. It was Ian Kennedy, and then we traded Ian Kennedy to the Phillies for the Spencer Howard trade. But he still wasn't the closer right away. It was Spencer Patton, and then Spencer Patton struggled. I think he went on the 10-day IL, so we threw Joe Barlow in at the closer spot, and he hasn't looked back since. Okay, there was a stint where he struggled a little bit, but that was because he was injured. They put him on the 10-day IL. He's come back, been rock solid. He throws gas, has a little bit of control issues. That's why they left him unprotected from the Rule 5 draft. But he gets strikeouts. I made a short on my YouTube channel where he struck out 8 guys in a row, and it's just his fastball and his changeup. That's what he gets most of his guys out with. And the Rangers are building stuff in the bullpen. Don't be surprised if next year we have a legit bullpen. Don't forget about Jonathan Hernandez, Jose Leclerc, and then we have Joe Barlow. And don't forget about Nick Snyder. He's a guy that throws gas as well. He was doing well this year, and he got injured with the Rangers. But we got some closer options, so it could get pretty exciting down in Texas out of the bullpen. And then last on this list is Dane Dunning. I don't think he did anything extremely spectacular this year with the Rangers, but he didn't do anything terrible. This is a guy we got in another trade this offseason with the White Sox. I made a video on the channel when this happened. And we traded Lance Lynn, one of our aces, making a push for Cy Young this year. So I'm happy for Lance Lynn. But let's look at Dane Dunning. He's been a solid starter for the Rangers. Obviously, this is a young team. All these guys have had their ups and downs this year. Same with Dane Dunning. But there's times when he's looked like he could be a middle guy in the rotation. I don't think he'll ever be an ace, okay? A lot of YouTubers, reporters said, oh, Rangers trade an ace for a future ace. I don't think that's the case. If the Rangers wanted an ace in the deal, they probably would have tried to trade for Dylan Cease, okay? But I think the Rangers really just wanted a steady guy in the rotation. I think that's what they got in Dane Dunning. I think almost every time out he's improved. He had, like, early in the year, he always struggled in that first inning. But I've been impressed. I wonder if you throw in a opener with Dane Dunning, if that helps him out. But obviously the Rangers want to develop him, so maybe you just got to get past that first inning mentality or whatever. But I like Dane Dunning, and I don't think he'll be an ace, but I think the Rangers are okay with that because they have a lot of guys that could be aces in this organization. Jack Leiter, Cole Winn, maybe Ricky Vanasco. So if he could be a 3, maybe a 4, that's good for Dane Dunning and the Rangers. So just wrapping up all the players in this video. We got Adolis Garcia at number 1, Nate Lowe at number 2, or Nathaniel Lowe, that's what he goes by now. Taylor Hearn at number 3, Joe Barlow at number 4, and Dane Dunning at number 5. Thank you all for staying to the very end of this video. If you liked it, please give a thumbs up down below and subscribe to the YouTube channel because I'm your #1 source for all things Rangers on YouTube. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.